Follow us on this vlog as we say goodbye to the baby Fiat. We've made the decision. We are going to sell our tow car. Our beloved little Toad, our little red Fiat, has served us well for almost 3 years. But we're finding now we are just not getting the use out of her to warrant running what in effect is a third car for us in our house. So we've decided that we are putting her on the market and we are starting that process. Now we've taken the decision to advertise in a couple of places, so this will go on to one of the Facebook groups and the motorhome groups that are on there, but we're also exploring what would be offered in other arenas as well. So we've got dealers involved, and we've had a look at motorway as an option as well, because they seem to be quite reliable and come well recommended from friends. So we're looking at a couple of options for how we're going to sell her, and we'll see what we do. Now, we paid just over £5,000 for her almost 3 years ago. It was at a peak in the market when there was very few cars hitting the forecourts as part of that pandemic issue, when used cars were demanding a lot more. However, we're probably not going to lose too much money on this one, given what the current market is and what its value will be and the use that we have had out of her. So we'll see what we do, and we'll see what we get. But that will mean with the tours that we're doing to Europe now, where we couldn't take her anyway because she's on an A-frame, and I don't want to invest in a trailer just for the sake of hauling it around France and Spain. We found it really beneficial when we were touring Scotland, Devon and Cornwall and the south coast, and around Kent when we did that tour last year. But for our weekends away, we generally don't need to take it. So I use it a lot for little runs to garden centres and the shops, and it ticks over. And that has balanced the mileage off my work mileage on my other vehicle. But at the end of the day, there's no point running a third car for the sake of it. And we'll be very sad to see her go when it does come to. So I'm going to include a bit of footage now as we go about the process. I'm heading off to the car wash shortly to get a good thorough clean with the guys down the road, both inside and out. A bit grimy from our trip to Suffolk. And yeah, I'll show her when she's gleaming and sparkling, and we'll let you know when she goes on sale. So big change for us, very much enjoyed it, but the time is right. So one of the first stages has just been to get the recent grime off the car. So before it goes to market, we just want to make sure it's looking tip-top once again, get all that road muck off from our trip to Suffolk. So here I am at the car wash. The next step was to consider where we would like to sell the vehicle, and we initially looked at Facebook groups and eBay, but we also explored Motorway to see what they would offer and whether we would get a sale. So the Motorway option was dead simple. We were given a link to an app on the phone, and we simply had to take a number of photographs around the vehicle: front, back, sides, tyres, wheels, inside, boot, to give a general overview of the condition of the vehicle. And then this was all automatically submitted for the vehicle to then go on a 24-hour live auction where a number of bidders could bid for the car during the day, and we would see what we would get. This was a simple process, just enter a few basic details, and this was followed up by a telephone call to check through mileage, condition, and you then got a very simple guide to appraise the vehicle. Well, it's time to say goodbye, and thank you for almost 3 years of travels and adventures around the UK, from Cornwall to Scotland to Kent. Off to a new home you go. In the end, we managed to sell the Toad to a motorhome dealer, which was done through the motorway system. So we'd uploaded all our details as we outlined earlier in the video. We'd also put it on the Facebook groups. We'd explored WeBuyAnyCar.com, who I have to say were trying to offer £1,500 less than other places. Chance in their luck, I feel. So yes, it is off to a motorhome dealer over in Warwickshire. So I do imagine, as they had inquired about the vehicle coming with the A-frame and the tow car equipment, that might end up on their forecourt with some of the other Toads that they have for sale. So we do expect to see her out and about again sometime in the future. Now, we've not regretted having the Toad, as we said earlier. The fact that we had a straightforward system from Total that was affordable and did the job at the time and gave us the ability to see lots of places when our travel was restricted was absolutely a bonus, really. And I think going forward, we'd probably consider having a tow car in the future. We'd probably have one with a lighter frame, and it will probably be at that point when we're closer to retirement and the tow car itself becomes one of our cars day to day. So off she goes, new home, next chapter for us. We can now plough on and continue with the search for our next motorhome.